Welcome, vampires, to another dev update with April 28 and the release of patch 1.1 Invaders of Oakveil fast approaching. We thought this might be the perfect time to learn a little bit more about the story of Megara, the Serpent Queen, the Venom Blades, and the forest they have sunk their fangs into, the Oakveil Woodlands. So for those of you looking to know your enemy, this is the perfect opportunity to learn a little bit more about Vardoran's newest threat. Okay. To the north of Silverlight and west of Gloomrot, Oakveil Woodlands. Yeah, so right up here. Top left corner of the map. Far to the northwest of a continent in the constant throes of conflict, an idyllic woodland sits for centuries, undisturbed. The conflict between the Transcendum in Gloomrot and the Church of Luminance in Silverlight Hills would rarely, if ever, see the need to intrude on these verdant territories. Oakveil has long since been a place gripped by pristine and unbothered nature, with one exception, the Great War. Dracula's thirst for power spread across the continent, and even here the land felt his greedy claws sink into its soil. Centuries have passed since then. Moss and roots have reclaimed the battle-scarred reaches, claiming blade, armor, and bones in the name of tranquility. A peaceful bastion, the half-forgotten memories of the conflict are remembered only in the crumbling ruins of vampire castles, now home to discreet wildlife. A rare haven, spared from the creeping horrors that plague every other inch of Vardoran, the struggling inhabitants of other lands have been content to leave this edge of the known world slumber. Looks beautiful. Some beautiful art here. There was once a village of proud warriors. It was small, remote, and of little significance. To the world, they held no power, no wealth, and no reason to be remembered. A coastal jewel, polished and precious. They lived their days in a simple and practiced cadence. It is a cold truth that a fated day can begin like any other. So it was on that day. Megara, the Serpent Queen? From the mist, the great witch Megara emerged, her origins unknown, her presence an omen. The villagers, wary but fearless, quickly rallied for battle. Megara answered their display with one of her own, one she knew they would understand. Drawing an unspeakable black magic, she performed a display of power so overwhelming that it crushed all hope of resistance, driving even the most stout-hearted champion to their knees. To them she spoke, "I am your queen. The greatest half of you will become my first subjects and will walk by my side. Come dusk, each of you that are holding the heart of one of your neighbors will earn your place." The alternative, of course, required no explanation. Those who obeyed became the first Venom Blades, worthy of receiving the dark magical secrets of Venom Sap, so that they may further empower the Witch Queen. With her new minions, she began her march across the world, laying waste to every land she touched. Every verdant landscape she reduced to shriveled ruin fed her strength, and with every conquest her great shadow grew longer, and her reach further. Megara, the Serpent Queen, is ruin incarnate, ravaging everything in her path and feasting upon the natural life to satiate her hunger for power. A hunger that cannot be quelled, and a thirst that cannot be quenched. With every act of devastation, her desire only swells. The Venom Blades. Though they began as little more than a handful of villagers, the venom blades have traveled far and wide, and consumed, integrated, and absorbed bits and pieces of the many cultures they've devastated. With each conquest comes a new legion of warriors willing to bow, scrape, and fight for their continued existence. Megara welcomes them all who will dedicate themselves to her, folding them into her ever-growing ranks of her army. Soon they all learn the most sacred edict of the Venom Blades: serve at the pleasure of the Serpent Queen. As long as it serves Megara's purpose, no treachery is forbidden. Infighting and cruelty are not merely tolerated but encouraged as instruments of her will. This ordained chaos, coupled with their reckless lust for battle, brings staggering losses. Yet to the Serpent Queen, such attrition is not simply accepted, it's invited. The unworthy are cast aside, and there are always more realms to conquer, more shattered souls to mold into faithful supplicants. The Venomblades sail from shore to shore, arriving with massive ships, which they tear apart on land to raise temporary camps, structures, and strongholds. When the land lies broken behind them, what remains is more than enough to forge new vessels and move on to their next raid. They do not look back, they do not stop until the work of ruin is done. Foremost among their duties is the ritual harvesting of venom sap, a magical resource drawn only through the corruption and ruthless bleeding of infected trees. The process is virulent, seeping into nearby plant and animal life like a sickness. The Venomblades do not mind. In truth, they prefer it. Their purpose is not preservation, but absolute destruction. Once the ritual is complete and the trees are fully corrupted, swollen with venom sap, they are felled, collected, and drained dry. This grisly process is overseen by Stavros the Carver, a fanatical servant of the Serpent Queen and an unquestionably murderous psychopath. Few among the Venomblades dare to consume venom sap directly, let alone wield it in its raw, volatile form. Stavros is no ordinary zealot, though bold may not be the correct word for what he is. From there, it is sent to be refined. So that's the sap, I guess. From there, it is sent to be refined and mixed with other materials in techniques pioneered by some of Megara's most faithful followers. Among these brilliant minds is Lucille, the Venom Alchemist, who mixes traditional alchemical techniques from her home with incredible chaotic nature of venom sap to make never-before-seen concoctions. She claims to gain divine inspiration from her queen, but that may just be the chemical fumes at work. Yes, I'm guessing Lucille right here, and Stavros. These two guys are probably gonna be new bosses, right? Processing. Similarly, the obsessive weapons master Dantos, the Forge Binder, combines his knowledge of metalwork with Megara's dark magical techniques to shape enchanted metals. In a masterful fusion of destruction and creation, he has discovered a way to carve through magically imbued items, melting them down, unraveling their enchantments, and reforging them into weapons of his own wicked design. Damn. That's Dantos, the Forge Binder. The majority of venom sap, however, is brought directly to Megara herself. Within the sanctum of her own making, the Serpent Queen conducts an unending ritual, bathing in the raw power, drawing it into her body with a hunger that knows no end. As long as the Venomblades fulfill their purpose and do not disappoint her, they are permitted to live. And now, they do so gladly. So long have they been under her sway that most do not remember a life before. Theirs is the path of a bloodthirsty raiders, harbingers of ruin, fanatics forged in venom and flame, bound to a singular sacred purpose. Serve the Serpent Queen in life, or serve her in death. So, the invasion draws near, calling all vampires. With April 28 fast approaching, that means update 1.1 Invaders of Oakveil is right around the corner. And with it, it's a perfect time to pick up V-Rising for yourself or your friends. Okay, so there's going to be a massive 50% sale for the base game on Steam. Join and hunt together with friends, grow your army of darkness, and set foot into Oakveil to experience the cruel ferocity of the Venom Blades for yourself. Okay, so that's it, my dudes. The little dev update here. I mean, we are approaching... that's the dev update number 30, Heart of Oakveil. We are approaching the release. It's tomorrow. This is Mouse and Fairy Tales. You are the sharks. I mean, you are also other people, hopefully. Not just the sharks, but you are the shark. And yeah. Thank you for watching.